Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Live from Los Angeles, we come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We also come together as a community in Soulciete, committed to being the #1 spiritual leaders community in the world, focusing on enlightenment, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. We truly believe that when somebody awakens, they have a gift and message to bring to the world. We are on the mission of awakening 1 billion people. Together, we are doing this. So let's talk about releasing, outlining, and controlling. So as we're awakening, first step is to wake up and discover and realize that everything is a projection and reflection of the soul, that life is the ultimate mirror. Step 2 is to reprogram. To basically reprogram the subconscious mind, getting into releasing the trauma, the limiting beliefs, and really shifting back to the true identity, that powerful spiritual being that you already are. Third is to align with your specific truth, align with universal law, and birth what works for you. What works for you in the realm of relationship? What works for you in the realm of money and career? What works for you in the realm of health and all the details of life? You have a unique truth. There's ultimate truth and relative truth. And finally, to affirm with what you want in every day in every way, affirming through meditation, affirming through the language that you speak, affirming through the thoughts that you think, affirming through the people that you hang out with, affirming through your inspired action. And so today I want to talk about releasing, outlining, and controlling. And that's really about aligning with what's right for you, releasing that in Reprogram the Subconscious Mind and aligning to the truth. So let's do this thing. So Ernest Holmes said, the only willpower used in the process, if it could be called willpower, is a determination to keep the thought clear. The only work you have is to be clear, to think about what ought to happen rather than about what ought to happen. To be actively aware of harmony rather than discord, to believe that goodwill always overcomes evil as light dissipates darkness. So let's get this straight. Your only job is to get out of the way, to clear your consciousness and to get out of the way. So in spiritual modality, in knowing and understanding how we manifest and how we demonstrate, we do not outline or control. And the reason why is because the universe will deliver every last time. It is abundant. But if you try and force it to happen in a particular manner, you're not allowing the universe to work. You're not allowing that flow. You're not allowing the abundance to be received. So I have a story around this. One time, it was an unusually rainy day, and I sat down with a client discussing, why she was not fully thriving. And we went back and I asked her, what was going on in her life. And she said that she had moved back to California, completely inspired and in love with Southern California beaches. And she said she was having a really hard time. She'd been in real estate for many years, like 14 years. And, she just wasn't thriving. She said there was years where she had a great life out of it and it was abundant. And yes, the market had gone down, but it had come back up and she just wasn't getting in her groove. It just wasn't working. Like it really wasn't, she wasn't thriving at all. So we began to kind of investigate what was going on with her. And she identified herself with her career. The bottom line is she was placing her value upon whether her career was going well or not. She had placed her self-worth upon that identity. And we know that the extent to which we place our power, our worthiness, anything outside of ourselves is the extent to which we become disempowered. And therefore we start blocking the flow, right? So that was one of the first issues that was going on. The second issue was she was kind of trying to still force her old ways within real estate instead of allowing herself to innovate and really get in the new flow of the real estate market that was different. It was different in many ways. But her self-esteem began to gradually lower as she became, not in flow in that arena. So she believed that if she just worked harder, if she just networked better, then success would happen in her career. So I posed a question. If money was of no object and you could spend your days doing what you truly desired, would you practice real estate? She surprised herself when she said no and let out a big, deep sigh. So there we sat with a long and infinitely important pause. The dawn of a new era had begun as I began to witness her awakening. So I invite you, and just like I invited her, to potentially take on a new viewpoint of your life situation and explore the concept that maybe the universe has a better plan for you. Sometimes when we feel lack, sometimes our inner guidance is nudging us in a different direction, a new direction. And so as I witnessed the sparkle in her eye, she said, "This is the third time someone has said this to me." She stated, "There have been a few people now that have planted the seed that maybe it's time for me to let go of the industry of real estate." And she then indicated that she heard that if you hear something three times, or it shows up three times in a row, it means that the universe is trying to communicate to you. She said, "I've always wanted to do something in the spiritual and recovery world." And for the next hours, we began to discuss the possibility of her taking a U-turn in her career and starting some recovery retreats in Southern California. And so the point is that whether you are somebody who just needs to innovate and begin to allow your industry to do it differently than you've been doing, or whether you really are being stuck and not in flow because you're trying to force it into the old ways of doing it, or whether you are needing to actually shift into an entirely new career, the point is that we have to listen. That if we keep controlling and trying to outline things to go as we want them to go, we don't allow ourselves to get into the flow of the universe. I mean, the Western culture is obsessed with production, getting rich, climbing the social ladder, and oftentimes we get in a trap. We try and do what we think is the right thing to do, then we think that that will bring us happiness. But more times than not, I witness people when they align to what really matters to them, when they align to their purpose and calling, when they align to being in authentic flow, they more times than not, always end up having a life beyond their wildest dreams, fulfilled. And so I invite you to take a look at your life and ask yourself, are you doing what you're doing because the culture told you to do that? Are you doing what you're doing because it's just what you know to do? Taking a step back and taking a look at our lives is super important. So today is all about getting in the flow. When we're not outlining, when we're not controlling, we actually are allowing and getting in the flow. So the universal law of today is the law of allowing. And this states that life is a flow of energy exchange. What you resist persists. The moment you perceive something as negative that has or has not occurred, you instantaneously experience a negative feeling. This is the universe's way of ebbing you towards the things that bring you joy. This law is designed for you to get in the current of life that allows you and aligns you to your truth and float down the river of ecstasy. The areas of life where you experience compulsion or dysfunction are ways that the universe ebbs you towards your unique divine path that is specific for you. So listen to that. What feels right? What doesn't feel right? And today's daily practice is to get in the flow. So where in life are you experiencing resistance? Where do you feel stopped or powerless? What limiting beliefs do you have on those areas? And what control are you willing to release to get back in the flow? So the challenge today is to give up control and allow the greatness to be received as you. And so in this, I know for sure today that we are here to allow that there is only abundance in the universe, period, end of story. That is the truth. And as we open up to the new possibility, we open up our eyes and we stop looking through the blinders of the little trap that we've put ourselves in. And we say, where does the universe want me? Where am I being received? What feels authentic in the flow? And allowing to shift into service, into giving, into exchanging energy. Oftentimes my clients will say, well, I just can't get a client yet. Or I just, I'm having a hard time doing X, Y, and Z. It's like, then do it pro bono. Then do it out of service. Get in the flow of giving, and giving. Be the embodiment of the work. And once you do that, the universe has to recognize you as that. You recognize yourself and you begin to believe yourself that you're worthy of a paying client, right? So some people will go, no, never give your service away, stay on track, do whatever. But the point is this, that you've got to get in flow for you. And life is an energetic flow. So if you stop the energy and block it, then the universe can't bring you the abundance. So I simply know the perfection of wherever you are. I know the perfection of everything, knowing that as release, control, and outlining, we simply allow. And so on this note, have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. Thanks again for tuning in to Dr. Erin and Soulciete podcast. I'd like to invite you to write a review on iTunes. Also, I have a free gift for you, a money meditation and worksheet, which you can find at soulciete.com. That's www.soulciete.com. Or 30 guided meditations at drerin.tv. That's www.drerin.tv. We also hold monthly Soulciete events that are all about transformation and building extraordinary community. You can also watch me live daily on goodmorninglalaland.com or Instagram at drerin.tv. Grab your free manifestation masterclass with the purchase of my international best-selling book, Awakening, a 40-day guide to unleashing your spiritual powers, life purpose, and manifesting your dreams at erinfallhaskell.com/awakening book.